In this video, we're going to take a look at backups and verification. So first things first, we need to understand data integrity. So data is valuable. So when we're keeping data on our employees, keeping data on the data we're using, keeping valid data on our customers, the more accurate it is, the more valuable it becomes. So data integrity is a concept of data being unchanged from its intended form. So there's many threats. So it could be, accidental loss, accidental damage. It could be, people purposefully trying to destroy data. Some are easy to detect and some are easier to slip by. Now, the big question is, why are we so bothered? Why is data integrity so important? And I think the main reason for that is data is probably, I think it pretty sure it is the most expensive commodity in the world now. So various companies selling data and having data on people's customer bases is really, really important. Google is super rich. It's got so much data that it can use it for various different things. For targeted advertising, it can use it for modeling and predictions. So ensuring that all this data is accurate means that the predictions and the work you do to help advertise and things like that is 100% accurate. I think that's the main issue there. So verification. So verification is checking whether or not someone wants to complete a certain action, and it's also checking that data has been accurately transferred or copied from between one machine and another. It needs to be verified to make sure that it's still in the correct and intended form. So some ways we can verify are things like checksums, check digits, parity checks, double entry, screen checks, and confirmation checks. Now, I have gone through all these before. A checksum, check digits, parity check, and in my algorithms video, you'll see I've gone through double entry, screen check, and confirmation check. So the bottom three are ones that you manually do as a user, and top three should be automatically done by the computer. So double entry is where we enter the data twice. So the computer compares the input, and if it's not the same as the first one, then it tells you off and says you can do it. So when you create a password, it'll always ask you, or should always ask you, to put it in twice. Screen check, a little bit different. So this is where we are given a screen at the end. So I know when I've applied for jobs that have been online jobs or applications, when you finish everything, it gives you a little check. When you go for university applications and things, use UCAS, it'll also ask you whether everything is correct. And again, this is like a manual process, so if you don't check your data properly, then you might get it wrong. So in my example here, I've got clearly a man who's called Bruce Manley Smith has put their title as Miss and occupation as ballerina. Nothing wrong with him being a ballerina, but I'm pretty sure Mr. Bruce Manley Smith isn't a Miss. So if he didn't check that and just pressed OK, then the data would be incorrect and he'd say he was a Miss when he's really a Mister. And there's nothing there that I'll actually go ahead and check that that's correct, because how would the computer know it wouldn't? And then a confirmation is just when you get like a pop-up or an extra screen saying, are you sure you want to do something? So if you're deleting something that's really important, you should get a pop-up saying, are you sure you want to delete it? And you press OK, and then it's all sorted. So a quick question. So remember, as we normally do with our videos, you need to pause the video and answer the question and see the answer on the next slide. So what is meant by data losing its value, and what are the common weaknesses of screen checks and confirmation? So pause the video. And now for some answers. So the more accurate the data is, the more valuable it is. When data is accidentally or maliciously changed, it loses that value. And human error is the main issue, because we can miss things and thoughtlessly just press OK, keep pressing enter, and skip through things that are important. So next we've got access control. So authorization is the act of determining what a valid user or application can and cannot do on a system. So usually this is called like user access rights or user rights. So we use access control, which sort of enforces this rule. So for example, in a school, students shouldn't be able to go onto the staff files and change things. Similarly, at work, the CEO will probably have a lot more control over different files than the new student who's just started. So by using this feature properly, we can reduce the chance of accidental data loss. You don't want people to accidentally delete things when they shouldn't be touching it in the first place. And then we've got backups. So a backup is just simply a copy of the data we store. So in a good backup scheme, backup data is stored in a separate storage medium, so a different place. So usually you go, right, you won't back up onto the same hard drive, you have a separate hard drive or USB, and preferably you'd put it somewhere where no one can access, and even better, a different physical location as well. So you might use it on a hard drive, a network access storage, so a NAS drive or a magnetic tape, maybe on a CD, DVD or a tape. It might be on the cloud, and it might be offsite altogether. So if you use cloud, it probably is offsite. So I use OneDrive because I pay for Microsoft 365, and I use that to back up all my lessons, all the videos I make, all the PowerPoints I make. Everything's backed up on there. It doesn't matter where I go in the world, I've always got all my data and all the things I need. Now, frequency. So this is how often you back up. So usually it's a bit sort of issues with how much it costs, how much data you actually need. If it messes up, how much is it going to cost you? So a bank is going to be making backups all the time. It's really important that they don't lose those records. Like a doctor's surgery might do a backup every day, school maybe once a week or once a month, and a home user might just back up important documents. So I actually back up quite a lot of stuff, but I don't back up everything, because I don't really need to get a picture I've downloaded or a meme I've looked at. I don't need to download that and back it up, but my pictures and things, every so often, every time my phone gets full, I take all the pictures off, put it on my cloud storage, and then start again. So I've got loads of backups on my phone, and I do the same on my computers as well. So one method of backing up is called the grandfather, father, son. So how that works is we keep using the same 3 backups. So at the minute we've got 3 files, and then when we make a new backup, the grandfather gets replaced by the father, and the son becomes the father, and so on. As you see, they're all swapping, and it's a way of having 3 backups at all times, just like that. So grandfather, father, son method. So another quick question for us. We've got what is meant by automated backup. So 2 marks will take you 2 minutes, so pause the video and come back in 2. And for some answers. So this is where a computer makes a backup without user intervention, so without you doing anything, and a scheduled time, so once a week, once a day, however it is you do, it will automatically, without you even having to prompt it, without you having to click anything, it will go out and back up your data for you. And hopefully you understood that, you understand the importance of data integrity, and I will see you in the next video.